When I say community trust, you say now. Community trust. Now. Community trust. Now. When I say immigrant rights, you say now. Immigrant rights. Now. Immigrant rights. Now. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here today. Muchísimas gracias a todos que están aquí con nosotros para asegurarnos de que hoy vamos a ver un cambio aquí en esta sesión legislativa. Thank you for everyone being here. Today is a very important day to secure immigrant rights. Thank you so much. Wanted to first shout out everybody that's here. The struggle could not be possible without the help of all Marylanders working together. So, for those of you from Frederick County, let's hear it. Frederick County. Hartford County. Anne Arundel. Washington. Let's hear it from Montgomery County. Prince George's. Howard. Where are my Baltimore people? And thank you so much to the partners. Organizations struggle with us every day. ACLU, Progressive Maryland, Indivisible, FJ, Unitarian Universalists, CJSJ, National Domestic Workers Alliance, leaders of a beautiful struggle. Anne Arundel teachers! Yes! Amica, where's my Amica brothers and sisters? Thank you so much. It takes all of us together to find justice in this world. Thank you so much for standing united with all of us. My name is George Escobar, and I am the executive director at We Are Casa. We are here for one reason, to make it absolutely clear that the Maryland Senate must pass the Community Trust Act. Mi nombre es Jorge Escobar y yo soy director ejecutivo de Somos Casa, We Are Casa. Y aquí estamos todos reunidos por una razón y una razón solamente, asegurarnos que el Senado aquí atrás de nosotros pase el acto de confianza en todo el estado de Maryland. ¿Se puede? ¡Sí se puede! ¡Sí se puede! A week ago, I saw many of you in front of the Supreme Court, right? Fighting to protect the 14th Amendment. Now, I'm so proud and so honored to be standing alongside of you, making sure we support and we protect the Fourth Amendment.
Right.
This is what we're talking about today.
Yes.
My friends, we have 5 days. The Maryland Senate has 5 days.
Right.
The Maryland Legislature has 5 days. 5 days to decide what they stand for. Do they stand with communities or for deportation? Do they stand for due process or for family separation? Do they stand for the Constitution of the United States? Or outlaw sheriffs that are promising to violate the constitutional rights of our community? Compañeras, compañeros, aquí estamos reunidos porque aquí tenemos 5 días más. 5 días. 5 días tiene el Senado. 5 días tiene el poder legislativo aquí en Maryland. 5 días para definir para quién están, para quién son, qué hacen y con quién se van a parar al lado. ¿Se van a parar al lado de nuestra comunidad? Sí. ¿O se van a parar al lado de Donald Trump? No. ¿Se van a parar con el pueblo? Sí. ¿O se van a parar y van a estar a favor de la deportación? No. ¿Van a estar a favor de la Constitución Sí. ¿O van a estar con esos sheriffs malvados que andan diciendo que nos van a... Así es. Because right now, we know that the Senate is choosing not to pass the #1 most important community immigrant protection bill that exists right now that's before them. And the Community Trust Act is really simple. #1 says that you cannot illegally detain our immigrant community for arbitrary reasons without a judicial warrant. #2, it ensures that law enforcement does not funnel people to ICE's deportation machine. Is that simple enough for everybody to understand? So let me make this very clear what this boils down to. Boils down to one thing. Here in Maryland, are we going to participate with the Trump agenda? No! Because every day we know that there's officers in counties across Maryland that are calling up ICE and telling them, right now we have a brown or a black immigrant person that was ready to be picked up for you and deported from this country. That is what's happening every day. And we know that. They are willfully trying to disappear our community.
Yes. Yeah.
So much so that they've told us to our faces that that's what they're trying to do. And let me be clear, what we're hearing from our senators is they're making their support for the Community Trust Act conditional. Conditional on what? On subjecting some people to transfers if they are charged with a crime. Charged, not convicted, not found guilty in court, charged. Who do we know that gets disproportionately impacted by charges of crime across our country? Black and brown communities, right? And that who is being victimized by these policies. Innocent until proven victory, for me, that I grew up knowing that in grammar school and elementary school, right? It's a fundamental concept that we all learned about. I think our senators need to understand that. Apparently they didn't get the message, right? So let's talk about who gets transferred and why, what happens once they get transferred to ICE. What is happening with ICE today? We know conditions are brutal. People are being brutalized while in detention. We have all seen pictures of what happens in those detention facilities, have we not? We all know that people are subjected to inhumane conditions. And we know 14 people this year alone have died in ICE custody. 14 people. That is more deaths than we heard happening by U.S. soldiers participating in this illegal war against Iran. More people have died in ICE custody than have died in the war against Iran. And we know that there are a few sheriffs out there that, again, to our faces, are angry about the 287G ban, right? And have come out to anybody that can hear them and come out in our media and have promised us they'll do anything to skirt that 287G bill and is going to ensure that they transfer our people to ICE no matter what the law says. That is what we're encountering. That is the opposition to the bill. Let's be very clear about who's opposed to this bill. And let's remember that of those people transferred, the majority of whom have zero criminal record. 4 out of 5 people taken in the state have zero criminal convictions. That's what we're talking about. If this was about public safety, those numbers would be completely different, right? If this was about public safety, we would see a different impact in the Montgomery County, in Prince George's County, in Baltimore, other localities that have already decided to pass local community trust legislation, right? They have chosen not to participate with ICE. And we see them decreasing their crime statistics year upon year upon year. This has nothing to do with safety. It is clear that this is nothing more than a way to change what Maryland looks like. Last time I looked, that that is similar to racial cleansing and ethnic cleansing of our society. That is unacceptable. All goes in the face of against our black and brown communities. Those are the ones that are being impacted by these bills and these policies. But we're here to say that that's not going to happen here.
No.
We're going to stop that. Yes. We've done this already in Montgomery County.
Yes.
We've done it in Prince George's County. Yes. We've done it in Baltimore County.
Yes.
We've done it in Howard County. We've done it in Baltimore City. And we will get it done all over Maryland. So when I say community trust, you say no. Community trust? No. Community trust? No. Se puede. Sí se puede. Se puede. Sí 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 se puede. And now, it is my honor to bring on stage the true champions of this struggle, the people whose stories are so critical to our success and without whom we would have never gotten to this point in the first place. And I want to welcome first our amazing champion from Baltimore County, Evan. Evan, please come to the stage.
Good morning, my name is Evan. I am 10 years old. I was born and raised in Baltimore County, Maryland, and I am a member of We Are Casa. I am here today to tell you all about my favorite uncle, my Uncle Minor. I love him and I miss him a lot. Last year, when I was only 9, my uncle got deported. ICE took him. I'm a kid and I don't know everything that happened. All I want to tell you that this is true. ICE is separating families. After he left, I got really sad and cried a lot. My Uncle Mino took really good care of me. He used to take me fun places. He would say that he loved me too. Before he got deported, my mom took my brother and me to visit him when he was in detention. It was a scary place. I asked my mom if we could bring Uncle Mino back home with us. I really wanted to, but we couldn't. I was happy to see him, but sad because he was still detained. My uncle doesn't know that much about Honduras. He came to the United States when he was 16. That's just 6 years older than I am. He lived here for most of his life. His kids are here, and I have 5 cousins, and they all miss their dad so much. I support the Community Trust Act because Maryland should not be helping ICE separate our families. Our leaders should not be helping ICE take our uncles and aunts and moms and dads away. I call on our leaders to pass the Community Trust Act so no one has to miss their uncle as much as I miss my Uncle Mino. I call on the Senate President and all of Maryland senators to meet this moment, to do their jobs and stand up for our families. With your support, we'll all be safer. Thank you.
Story. It is very important to hear from our community about what they're going through so that we can ensure justice and ensure that our leaders have those stories to take with them and pass these types of important pieces of legislation. And with that, I want to introduce one of our greatest champions in the Senate here, Senator Clarence Lamb, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a beautiful day to see so many beautiful people out here. Can we have another round of applause for Evan? It is those human stories, those family stories about why bills like this are so important that we are gathered here this afternoon, because we have a lot of work still to do in these last couple days, don't we?
Yes!
And I want to thank my colleagues, and you have many allies here in the House as well, Delegate Moreno, Delegate Acevero, and our House sponsor, the Community Trust Act, Delegate Phillips is here as well. Can we have a round? Because we do have a lot of work to do, and all of you I know have been working so incredibly hard that I know it is exhausting, it is tiring. But let me give you an example of why the work you do is so important. Because it's through the efforts of all of you over the last couple years that right at the beginning of session, we were able to pass a ban on 287G agreements. We could not have done that without all of your support. And that's why all of you gathered here this afternoon is so incredibly important. Because while we were able to pass that bill, and while the governor was able to sign that just a couple months ago, a bill that went into effect to ban these types of local law enforcement agreements to be able to cooperate with ICE, what happened was that the sheriffs and other counties quickly turned around and said, well, never mind, now that you've passed the ban on 287G, we found another way around making sure that we can cooperate with ICE. And that's why bills like the Community Trust Act are so important, to make sure that our jails and prisons don't turn into the front steps of an ICE detention machine. Because we have heard from counties and stories that even Evan just shared here this afternoon that demonstrate that there are still counties, that there are still wardens that are cooperating with ICE, that are calling ICE on people that have not been charged with anything because they've been picked up by local law enforcement, perhaps even on very minor things, and being referred and turned over to ICE. That is not fair, that is not who we are, and those are not our values here in Maryland. And so while we had a lot of success because of efforts like yours to be able to pass a ban on 287G earlier this session, the job is not done, because we have to close off these backdoor loopholes to prevent ICE from coming through our prisons and through our communities to continue their deportation campaign. That's why bills like the Community Trust Act are so incredibly important, and we look forward to passing it this session through the help of all of you, don't we? Yeah! And I know that many of you are also here because I see signs here for the Data Privacy Act. Both those bills are bills that I am sponsoring in the Senate because we have work left to do. We have to continue to protect our immigrant community. We have to uphold our values to make sure that Maryland continues to be a diverse and inclusive community. And even just this afternoon, the Data Privacy Act is up for a vote in the Senate Finance Committee, which is where I'm headed back to in about 20 minutes. To be able to vote that bill out of our committee so we can send it to the Senate floor and get it passed this session. But our work is not done, especially on the Community Trust Act, because there is a lot of heavy lifting that needs to still occur. And so we want to thank all of you for your efforts. This bill would not be still alive were it not for all of you being here, calling into our senators and delegates' offices, making clear how important this bill is to our communities. And we just want to thank you for all of your effort. It is so heartwarming to see all of you this afternoon because it's an important reminder of who we are all working for and towards. And a reminder that while we are here together this afternoon, there are so many others that could not join us this afternoon that we are all supporting, that we're all trying to uplift, and that we're all trying to protect as well, right? So How do we want to pass? We want to pass the Data Privacy Act when? Now! And we want to pass the Community Trust Act when? Now! Let's send a message to our colleagues in the House and the Senate that this is important and that this is something we must pass now! Thank you so much all for being here. Thank you to CASA, all the organizers, ACLU, other groups that I know are calling into our offices. We could not be here without all of your support. Thank you so much. We'll continue to push this as well.
Let's give it up for Senator Lamb.
Not only on these bills, but so many through the years. Thank you so much for your leadership in the Senate. Senator Lamb, and now it's my honor, my pleasure to turn it over to another important champion in the House of Delegates, the chair of the Legislative Back Caucus, and the sponsor of the Community Trust Act in the House of Delegates.
To follow Senator Lamb is a little hard. As he said, what do we want? Community trust? When? Now! All right. And that's what we're trying to do. With 6 days left, we've got a lot of work to do to get this done in 6 days. And it won't happen without the continued advocacy that I see right here. With CASA, with the ACLU, and with so many other groups, you've made a difference. Because, fortunately, the conversation has not stopped. Even though, that's right, the conversation has not stopped. We're having these conversations, and in a few minutes, I'm going to a meeting to continue the conversation. So I'm going to be brief. I understand, I walked up and I understand you heard from Evan. And Evan told a story, I'm sure, about his own. That was one of the stories that came to our hearing. It was one of the stories that moved me because Evan is a Baltimore County resident, and I represent Baltimore County. Yes. Evan, I relate to him because his elementary school, Featherbed, was the same elementary school I can remember running around at when I was a child, when I was his age. But I didn't have the same concern that he has about my father or my uncle or anyone else being picked up on the street and being disappeared. We're living in a very different time. We've taken an agency of the federal government and we've weaponized it. We've put $80 billion into the ICE, actually. And so the idea that our law enforcement officers need to support ICE in any way, their budget is bigger than the state of Maryland. They don't need us to help them.
Exactly.
They just don't. We need to ensure that everyone that lives here in Maryland gets due process. That's right. And we don't distinguish between a citizen and a non-citizen. So I want to get that out the way. Everybody say, well, no, non-citizens have, no. Our Constitution gives due process to everyone that's on the scene. And so this fight is just about doing what's right by our neighbors, by those who we work with and work beside every day. And so we'll continue this fight. I think it's really important, really important that the conversation continues, and you're helping us with that. So please do not let up. Because what do we need? Community trust. And when do we need it? Now! Thank you all very much.
Sí se puede.
el senador Lam, ¿verdad? Gracias por su liderazgo. Thank you so much for being a champion of our communities. Thank you so much for your leadership. Get back to work. Thank you. And now, but as the senator and as the delegate mentioned, it's so important to lead with our community and have those stories at front page and understand that that is how we were going to make change in the society. So now, I am also incredibly proud to introduce and bring up to the stage Liliana, Prince George's County resident.
Use the big mic. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Liliana, and I'm from Prince George's County. My family's from El Salvador. A few weeks ago, I shared my story for the very first time. As I'm a 10-year-old, I was nervous, but I knew my voice mattered. Since then, I've seen what happens when people speak up. I testified to support a 287G, and it passed. I stood with my community in Prince George's County, and we took action by passing 7 pieces. 7 pieces of illustration. It showed me something wonderful. I mean powerful, my bad. Or both. When we raise our voice together, we can win. I'm really proud of everything that we had been able to do. But our work isn't done, not finished. When my father was taken by immigration,
Doing great, Liliana.
my life changed. What happened to my family is happening to others. Families are being, I don't know how can I pronounce this, but have been separated. Child are living fear that doesn't have to happen. The Truth Act is about choosing a different path. It's about making sure Maryland stops helping ICE tear families apart, including in our jails. We really made progress. Now it's time for the state to do the same. To our leaders, you have the power to protect families like mine. Please pass this Truth Act. Thank you really much, everybody.
El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás
Jamás será vencido.
Thank you so much, Liliana. Thank you so much for being brave. Thank you so much for testifying on these important bills. And thank you so much for being here alongside Evan. Amazing leaders. And now, it's again my honor to bring up one of our steadfast champions with the immigrant community and all communities here in Maryland. The Vice Chair of the Latino Caucus, Gabe Acevedo, please.
Se puede. Se puede. Nous pouvons. Nous pouvons. My name is Gabriel Acevedo, and I'm a proud immigrant from Trinidad and Tobago. I'm the proud son of an immigrant Afro-Venezuelan and an Afro-Trinbagonian mom, and I'm here today like all of you because I recognize that ICE don't keep us safe. We do, am I right? And we're here today because the House of Delegates has been leading on a number of immigrant justice bills that I have been proud to not just co-sponsor, but vote for. Whether it was the passage of the Dignity Not Detention Act, whether it was the passage of the 287G ban, but I also recognize that there's still a lot of work that we need to do to ensure that we're protecting our neighbors and our friends here in the state of Maryland and sending a clear message, not just to ICE, but this fascist administration, that we will not be complicit in the terrorizing of communities and the killing of Americans with impunity, am I right? And so today I am here to say that we will do all that we can in the Maryland House of Delegates. But I recognize that that is not enough. We need the Maryland State Senate to pass the Community Trust Act, and to do so this year. We need to send a clear message that in the state of Maryland, we value the person and not someone's status. That in the state of Maryland, immigrants can't just call this state home, but we will show up and we will protect our neighbors and our immigrants just like we do other communities that are targeted. Am I right? And I want to be clear that all of our rights, regardless of your status, all of our rights are threatened when we accept an administration that is willing to target the least and the most vulnerable amongst us. If the system is able to terrorize and to dehumanize a certain group of people, it is only a matter of time before they start doing it to other communities, and we have to be willing to stand up, to fight back, to agitate, to disrupt, and yes, make some people uncomfortable to get the goods. Am I right? So we are here today to send a clear message to my colleagues in the Maryland State Senate. We are watching. We will continue to show up and send the Community Trust Act to the Maryland House of Delegates so we can get it passed. What we have seen over the past few months is an ICE agency that has been given a $70+ billion slush fund, more than the budget of the state of Maryland. We have been told that we can't provide health care to undocumented immigrants who pay so much in taxes and into a system that they don't get a thing from. Yes. We have been told that we can't fund legal aid to ensure that there is representation at initial hearing for immigrants, yet we see billions of dollars being siphoned off into an agency without transparency, without accountability, and quite frankly, I think it needs to be abolished. What do you think? ICE don't keep us safe, we do. And instead of us wasting billions of dollars in propping up an agency that don't do nothing but terrorize our communities, abolish it and invest in our communities. Am I right? So until we get get to that day, we're going to do all that we can here in the state of Maryland to pass the Community Trust Act and to make sure we're passing it in a strong posture. We don't want no weak Community Trust Act, am I right? If we're serious about protecting immigrant communities, we got to show it in legislation. Enough with the performative solidarity with immigrant communities. Pass the bills that will keep us safe, am I right? And so I am here, and I will say this, as long as CASA, as long as our co-conspirators, not allies, I will say again, as long as our co-conspirators in this fight continue to show up for immigrant justice, I and every single member of the Maryland Legislative Latino Caucus, as every single member of the Black Caucus and AAPI Caucus and every person of goodwill who support immigrants will continue to show up with you, sisters and brothers. Thank you all for showing up for the immigrant community and solidarity. Thank you very much. Yes, we can! Yes, we can! Yes, we can! Yes, we can! We number one! We number one! We number one! We number one! Sí se puede! Sí se puede!
And now, I'd love to bring somebody up who knows those chants very well, as a partner of ours, always working with the ACLU, the executive director of the ACLU Maryland, Dana Vickers-Shelley, please.
Si se puede. Si se puede. Si se puede. Si se puede. The humanity of everyone across the state of Maryland is at risk when we aren't protecting our immigrant communities, our brown communities, our Black communities. This is a racial justice issue. Pass it on. I thank CASA and other partners who are here to work with you all every single day to respond to the calls and the work that Ama, Ninfa, and Catherine, and so many other colleagues across your organization, George, are doing. Thank you so much for your continued work. It's good to see so many of you here today because I recognize your faces. You were here before 287G was passed. And now it's been passed and now it's been signed, but guess what? Don't start celebrating. I'm using the big mic. Don't start celebrating. Communities are not safe. There is racial profiling. There is collusion, conspiracy with ICE to keep people away from their families, from their homes, from their jobs, from their faith spaces. Across the country and across this state, this blue state, we see threats to the promise of the 14th Amendment, the guarantee of equal protection for everyone. And here in Maryland, we are being called to defend the Fourth Amendment, that basic protection against unlawful detention. These threats are having two real consequences in our communities. Again, passing 287G was an important step. But even now, too many people, as you've heard from other speakers and as you know from your lives and your experiences, too many people are still not at home when their child comes home from school, not safe if they have to go to the hospital, not safe if they leave the house as a brown, beige, or Black person. This is why the Community Trust Act is essential, why it is so urgently needed. I heard one of the legislators say we have 6 days. Let's act as if we only have 24 hours and get this done. The Community Trust Act affirms a very simple principle. It ain't complicated, folks. Maryland's local system should serve who? Maryland communities. Us, we the people. Exactly. A judicial warrant, not informal request, must guide any decision to detain or transfer someone. We can't let this happen. And with just days left in this legislative session, this moment is a test of leadership. What will our elected officials do? Will they be leaders? Will they be, in some cases, co-conspirators to protect community? Will they lead? And folks, it's an election year.
Yes.
Okay? We are constituents from all over this state. Our legislators work for us. Call your legislator. If you had to work on election day and didn't get a chance to vote, and you're in their district, they still represent you, even if you didn't vote for them on election day. Let them know, hi, this is your boss calling. I have something that I need for you to do. This is urgent. And there'll be a performance review coming up if you don't vote the correct way on the Community Trust Act. It's that simple. Will Maryland stand firm in its values or repeat the mistakes of the past? There are too many of us who are in Maryland right now, even as citizens who were not included in any of the founding documents of this country, much less this state. And the people in front of me, new Americans, folks in mixed status families, folks who are undocumented, we are all a part of we the people, according to the Constitution. We all need to be protected. We want to be sure that the rights of Black and brown Marylanders are no longer negotiated. Our rights are owed to us because we're here. At a time when national policies are driving harm and undermining fundamental rights, Maryland has a responsibility to lead. The Senate has got to step up. Step up, people. The Senate must lead. The Senate must pass the Community Trust Act. When we protect due process, we protect everyone. Everyone. From Juliana to Evan, to the young people here, to the students, to the grown-ups in the room. When we uphold the Constitution, we strengthen our democracy and we protect our communities. And when we choose trust, we choose safer communities for all. Maryland has a choice. Are Maryland senators going to choose dignity for everyone? We can choose a future where every Marylander can thrive. Let them know this is what we need. And when do we need it? Now! How soon do we need it? Now! Can we do it? Si se puede. Yes, we can.
Has always been at the forefront of these struggles, right there alongside CASA and all our members. Thank you so much for your leadership. And now, I'd like to bring up to the stage an important story we learned this year, and to tell us about his family's struggles and his family's defiance against ICE. Please welcome Prince George's resident, Mohammed.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. There's some hard speeches to follow, so I'm gonna try my best. Si se puede. Good afternoon. My name is Muhammad Al Ghali. I was born and raised right here in Maryland. I'm the proud son of an immigrant. I'm a member of CASA, and today I speak to you all as a son of a woman this system unjustly took from me. I've been here in Annapolis, DC, my home county, everywhere. And let me tell you, I'm fed up. I'm angry, to say the least. In Maryland, there are several bills that are passing, but why is it that the most important bill that our community is asking to pass is still not passed? My mother, Rabiatu Kuyate, fled war and torture in Sierra Leone just to survive. She came to the country seeking safety, dignity, and a chance to rebuild her life. And she did. For over 25 years, she served Maryland as a nurse, caring for people with compassion, and even risking her life on the front lines during COVID.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, despite all that, she was detained and deported. This is the reality our family is facing right now. Her story is not unique. Right now, across Maryland, families are being torn apart, not just by ICE, but with the help of our own state. Our own state of Maryland is still helping ICE. Everyone should be outraged. Local leaders across the state have taken action. I'm really proud that we passed the Trust Act in Prince George's County already. Yeah, they've shown what meeting the moment looks like in the first Trump administration. But the Maryland Senate, under the leadership of Bill Ferguson, has failed to do the same. So we have days left in the session, and the legislature has not passed the bill. Inaction is a decision to give permission to ICE to keep terrorizing our communities, a decision to let families like mine be separated again and again. We are not asking anymore, we're demanding. Pass the Community Trust Act, end all dangerous cooperation with immigration enforcement. And if you don't act, understand this, families like mine will not be silent. We will organize, we will mobilize, and we'll keep fighting until you do. So please don't make us. Thank you.
For Rabiatu, for Evan's uncle, for Liliana's family, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Are we gonna pass the Trust Act? Yes! When? Now! When? Now! Pass community trust? Now! When? Now! When? Now! When? Now! Se puede! Sí 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 se puede! And now I'd like to bring up to the stage a real champion for us in Baltimore. We're proud to have her as the only Latina council member on the city council, Odette Ramos. Please.
Buenas tardes. Buenas tardes. I'm honored to be here today, and I'm grateful to all of you for spending so much time, not just today, but every day, working hard to protect our immigrant community. Thank you so much, everybody, for all that you have been doing. And let's try to finish the fight. Let's finish the fight. Yes, let's do it. So I'm so grateful to be in elected official in Baltimore. And as you know, we passed our version of the Trust Act called the Safe Spaces and Communities Act. And very proud to have sponsored that bill with several of my colleagues. And that bill is very clear that Baltimore City, all of our agencies, and our police department will not cooperate with ICE. And we're very clear that we will protect our immigrant community from ICE. We will not let them in our buildings. We will not let them terrorize our communities. That is clear. So I'm so excited that we're one of several jurisdictions that have passed versions of the Trust Act. As you heard, Prince George's already did it, Montgomery County already did it, we did it, Baltimore County. So it should be done statewide, right? Yes. Absolutely, because frankly, what we're also seeing is that ICE doesn't actually know boundaries, okay? They're coming into different communities and they don't really care. They're just gonna go after people. So we have to do this on a statewide basis. We have to do it. And so I'm grateful that we're almost at the finish line. I'm asking for our legislators to keep going, keep fighting, get this last piece done. It is extremely, extremely important for all of our residents. I, as the first and only elected official that is Latina in Baltimore City, I am horrified by what I see every day of our residents being snatched violently snatched off the streets. And these are our residents, my neighbors, who are here to make a better life for themselves and their families, and to be a part of a loving state and a loving city. They do not deserve to be treated the way that we are being treated. Bottom line. So the statement that we're making today and that we're asking the General Assembly to make is that they also agree that our residents are valuable, our residents are here, and we want every single one of them here to be a part of our communities. I also want to thank the 80 elected officials. I'm one of 80 elected officials that signed on to a letter to the General Assembly to pass this bill. And it was all of the Baltimore City Council signed on, including our mayor, Mayor Scott, as well as county executives from Montgomery County County Executive Ehrlich, as well as the County Executive Elrich, as well as County Executive Fitzwater from Frederick County, as well as County Executive Brayboy from Prince George's County. So again, you've got so many elected officials who are seeing the horror in our neighbors' eyes as they're actually going out just to get groceries because they don't know whether they're coming back, right? That's horrible to have to live with, and the Trust Act here in Annapolis, passing this will make sure that people are protected. And so I'm asking the General Assembly to be a part of this fight by passing this law. And I want to thank all of you again for spending time today and literally every day that you've been fighting for these bills in Baltimore City, in Annapolis, and around the state and around the country. ¡Sí se puede!
Thank you so much, Councilmember Ramos. Thank you. And just as she said, if we can do it in Baltimore City, if we can do it in Baltimore County, if we can do it in Montgomery County, if we can do it in Prince George's County, we can do it in Howard, why can't we do it in the state? I love that sign right there. Pass the freaking CTA. Pass the CTA.
Tell us why. Why is the fight? What's the fight?
Pass the Community Trust Act. Now, so I'd like to, before we go on, I'd like to just single out a few leaders that didn't get a chance to talk with us today. Delegate Denny Taveras, should hear our amazing leadership from Prince George's County. Delegate Gabe Moreno, Jason Avila, the Executive Director of Latino Caucus, and so many legislators that continue to fight with us and for us. So thank you to all their leadership. Now, I'd like to bring up this battle could not happen without our brothers and sisters in labor who've been right by our sides the whole time. So to talk about that, I'd like to bring up the president of the American Federation of State, County, Municipal Employees, Council 3, Patrick Moran. Where is Patrick?
Buenos días a todos.
Buenos días.
Buenas tardes. Me llamo Patrick Moran, soy el presidente de AFSCME. Representamos a trabajadores del estado, the county y la ciudad de todos de Maryland. I'm here today because 10 years ago we partnered with CASA to stop ICE from using state, county, and city facilities for their purposes across Maryland when they started apprehending people. And unfortunately, we're here 10 years later because they have not passed the Community Trust Act. Shame on them. It is unacceptable in a state like Maryland that they cannot pass this simple legislation. But furthermore, I want to share with you what happened to one of our members last week. And we predicted this was going to happen. We have a number of members that work in correctional facilities across the state of Maryland, where ICE may not operate because of the great work that CASA has done. However, a number of those folks that work in these facilities are immigrants from Nigeria, from other parts of Africa, and they don't look like me, and they don't sound like me, they don't talk like me, but they're citizens of this country. And last week, as one of our members was to go on vacation, someone that has worked in one of our correctional facilities for 22 years, and is a citizen. He's been a member of our union for 20 years. He was on his way to Cancun for vacation. And as he was trying to get on the plane, ICE pulled him up. ICE took him into custody. Why? Because it was a case of mistaken identity. And they apprehended him, and they put him in custody in Anne Arundel County somewhere. And thank goodness he has a union. He reached out, and Senator Alsobrook and Senator Van Hollen got to work, and 10 hours later, he was out of custody. But if it can happen to someone that has worked for the state for 20 years, who's been 22 years, been a member of our union for 20 years, and is a citizen, it is a warning. It can happen to anyone in this country, and that is unacceptable for anyone, let alone a citizen. That's why we are proud to stand with CASA and proud to say, pass the Community Trust Act now. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that solidarity, always from labor, especially from AFSCME. And now to close us out, thank you so much, everyone, for being here with us. We want to close out with a senior pastor of Northwood United Methodist Church, Reverend Dr. Kevin Slayton.
Northwood, yay!
Good evening. Let me begin by saying the views expressed are not those of the sponsors or the organizers of this event. They are the expressed views of Reverend Slayton.
Yeah.
Can I be honest with you on this evening?
Yes!
America does not belong to white men.
Yes!
Maryland does not belong to white men. In elementary school, I learned the song, "This land is my land, this land is your land."
Yes!
And if we can't move on the Community Trust Act, on the next election, we will have a Legislative Trust Act. Because it's hard to believe what you say when we see what you do. We're all God's children. We're all made in the Imago Dei, the DEI of what God is. And we all have the right to live peacefully without being picked up on the streets and removed from our families. That has nothing to do with my faith or my religion. That has everything to do with my humanity. We want the world to see us as a better people, then damn it, we better start acting like better people. I'll leave you with scripture, because again, I am supposed to bring the faith aspect. Leviticus 19, chapter 19, verse 33. Says, when a foreigner resides among you in your land, do not mistreat them. The foreigner residing among you must be treated as native born. Love them as yourself, for you were foreigners in Egypt. I am the Lord your God. Do not use dishonest standards when measuring length, weight, or quantity. Use honest scales. Let's be honest. We all fall short. We've all got issues, and we all come from different places. But God loves us just the way we are.
Yeah.
And I'm not a mathematician, but I know how to count votes. And there are more non-women, more non-white men in that house than there are white men. There's no reason that by tomorrow this bill should not be passed.
That's right.
Yeah.
So if you stand with me and you stand with those folks who have spoken today, get up off your rusty dusties, pick up your telephones, call your friends, and don't just scream about it. Write them, text them. Don't stop writing or texting them until you have learned that the bill has passed.
Yeah.
Together, we win together, not apart. God bless you all.
Let's remember, tens of thousands of people have already been affected by this. Tens of thousands of families have already been ripped apart. We would have never known about them if it weren't for the bravery of the stories and the family members that have come forward. They're here demanding that this be stopped, demanding that more people don't get caught up in this net, in this illegal net. It's up to all of us to take action right now and stop this. It's not about next year. It's not about, oh, this is an election year. It's not about, oh, this is the federal government and we have limited power. We have the responsibility to take action now and demand this of our leaders in our local legislature right now.
Now!
We're asking you to take 3 steps. There's multiple ways of making your voices heard, but please make your voices heard and ensure that we pass the Community Trust Act. Now, it's the age of technology, so we have a QR code. Linko over here has a QR code that you can sign on, and you can scan it, you can sign it. That will allow you to go straight into the inboxes of your senators. Very important to speak to your senators. We had a question about what is keeping this from moving forward. It's your senator. Let's be clear. The Senate has a president. Sure, let's target him, but let's target every single senator that chooses to represent their community here. So please reach out to your senator, reach out to the Senate president, go in person. Right now, we're standing right here. Our staff is happy to lead you to all the different offices. They have offices here. Please knock on their doors. Demand the Community Trust Act. And that is the most powerful thing you can do. Go in person. But if you can't go in person, call them, email them, annoy the hell out of them for the next 5 days.
Like I said, the
till
QR
we
code
pass
is
the
the link.
freaking Community Trust Act. Familias unidas, nunca separadas. Familias unidas y nunca separadas. Familias unidas y nunca separadas.
It's in our canvas too. It's in our canvas as well.
Vamos a pasar el Trust Act? Sí. Are we gonna pass the Trust Act? Yeah. When? Now. When? Now. Community Trust Act when? Now. Community Trust Act when? Now. Se puede. Sí 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 se puede. We move on. We move on. We move on. We move on. Bueno, muchísimas gracias a todos.
Senator.
Thank you very much. I hope you all have a chance to speak to your senator today, tomorrow, the next day. Let's pass the Community Trust Act.